This is what the narcissist never expected you to do, and it will be something they regret for the rest of their life. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. The narcissists were taken aback by how many unexpected things you accomplished. Show your support by liking, following, and sharing the videos if you enjoy them. This video, however, covers a move they never saw coming. Before we dive into that, let's reflect on your time with the narcissist. What was the nature of your connection, and how did it affect you? What changes have you retained? You were involved with a toxic narcissist because you lacked awareness about narcissism due to insufficient education on the topic. Initially, you believed the other person was simply having a bad day, acting like a victim, or being unkind due to their own issues. Despite this, you continued to invest effort into the relationship, unable to fully grasp what was happening. You devoted considerable time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, status, social ties, and even your health to others, which left you vulnerable. This is what the narcissist never expected you to do, and it will be something they regret for the rest of their life. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. The narcissists were taken aback by how many unexpected things you accomplished. Show your support by liking, following, and sharing the videos if you enjoy them. This video, however, covers a move they never saw coming. Before we dive into that, let's reflect on your time with the narcissist. What was the nature of your connection, and how did it affect you? What changes have you retained? You were involved with a toxic narcissist because you lacked awareness about narcissism due to insufficient education on the topic. Initially, you believed the other person was simply having a bad day, acting like a victim, or being unkind due to their own issues. Despite this, you continued to invest effort into the relationship, unable to fully grasp what was happening. You devoted considerable time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, status, social ties, and even your health to others, which left you vulnerable. This occurred because you were over-investing in a relationship that was failing. Meanwhile, the narcissist had a different agenda, essentially working against you and trying to complicate your life. The cycle of narcissistic abuse occurs when one person gives too much while the narcissist continuously takes without boundaries. Everything and everyone that narcissists touch is ultimately harmed. In my experience, narcissists think very differently from others. They approach situations uniquely, struggle with self-reflection, and evade responsibility. Instead of being accountable, they prefer to exploit others, drain them of resources, discard them when they're no longer useful, and move on to the next target. It's crucial to understand that this new target is typically another unsuspecting person. Remember, the narcissist likely escaped a previous relationship to seek refuge with you. Once they've taken what they want from you, they'll move on to someone else who might be less aware or possibly a toxic narcissist themselves. This new victim could be an ex, a former friend, or someone else the narcissist seeks to control again. All these factors contribute to the abusive cycle perpetuated by narcissists. It's essential to recognize that this cycle will continue as long as the narcissist remains involved. They are aware that their mental state limits them, that living a life full of deceit is confining, and that they are constantly changing their persona. They understand that they wear masks to manipulate others, and sometimes they glimpse their own inauthenticity. This awareness fuels their desire to feel superior to others. You had no idea what to expect when you finally left the narcissist's house. Living with them was like being on an emotional roller coaster, with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde taking turns in your life. The nature of your relationship was always unclear. It wasn't until you started searching online for terms like spouse won't talk to me, or verbal abuse, that you began to find answers. This marked your first significant step forward. As your journey continued, you learned more about narcissists and, importantly, about yourself. They never anticipated you would uncover their true nature. They underestimated your intelligence and research abilities, just as they did when you first met. Think back to that initial encounter. They were likely assessing you, understanding your motivations, strengths, dreams, and how you interacted with others. They crafted a persona to lure you in, deciding you would be their next source of power. They aimed to make you their engine, whether for a short while or the long haul. Their goal was to become close to you, make you fall for them, or become their friend. But behind this facade, they had sinister plans. They intended to deceive, abuse, and control you while maintaining their charade. Having done this before, they knew your health and finances would deteriorate as long as you were with them. They were prepared to move on to another source once they drained you dry. They believed you'd never recover if you tried to leave. Watching the movie again, you'll see how they orchestrated the end of their abuse and planned their next steps. It's easy to stay trapped in a self-centered fog, but breaking free is possible. If you've experienced this, you'll understand. Please leave a comment below. Your participation is important. Your connection with the narcissist left you feeling constantly exhausted and defeated. The narcissist never anticipated that you would heal, understand narcissism, embrace radical acceptance, and recognize your own beauty, worth, and inner light. They manipulated and controlled you, making you believe you couldn't survive without them. This is known as a trauma bond. They would push you away only to pull you back in, creating an emotional roller coaster that kept you perpetually off balance. You never knew what to expect during each interaction, whether through phone calls, texts, or emails. The instability was intentional. The narcissist deliberately kept you off balance to strengthen the trauma bond. Dealing with the trauma bond was incredibly challenging because you never learned about the concept of ego. It caught you off guard, leaving you struggling to understand why everything was falling apart, making you feel like an empty shell. The narcissist had taken over your life, occupying your thoughts day and night. You found yourself delaying responses to their texts and dropping everything to discuss your plans, actions, and goals with them. Typically, their responses were dismissive. Okay, great, or sometimes nothing at all. Have you ever been in this situation? Share your thoughts. The narcissist belittled you for merely sharing your plans and actions. Others saw you as an unpaid helper, constantly apologizing and doing extra work. You kept feeding the narcissist information, trapped in a cycle of narcissistic manipulation and trauma bonding. They deliberately kept you in the dark and placed you in that situation. In that role, your devaluation worsened as the narcissist grew tired of you. You were ensnared, becoming the object of their search, capture, and manipulation. The narcissist no longer saw you as a person, but as a possession. They used you whenever they wanted, and then put you back on the shelf, like a doll or trophy. Consequently, they would disappear for hours, days, or even entire weekends, leaving you in a constant state of uncertainty and distress. During their absences, they were likely seeking new sources of respect or approval from others. These could range from friends and social groups to trips, possessions, or various other indulgences. While narcissistic supply often comes from romantic partners or friends, it can also be drawn from family members or relatives. However, the narcissist never expected you to grow strong. Learn about narcissism, understand its impact on you, and prioritize your own well-being. Whether they ended the relationship or you did, I empathize with the hardship you endured for so long. Overcoming the cycle of narcissistic abuse is a feat not everyone achieves. The first step is finding that needle in the haystack, that crucial insight or realization. Just as I found pine needles in the woods or on the ground, discovering this key piece of understanding can open up your future and free you from a toxic relationship. Narcissists never aimed to understand you or help you heal. They never wanted you to see through their facade and recognize that toxic narcissists are not who they claim to be. They cause harm, hide behind masks, and manipulate others. But you escaped. You are healing, learning, growing, and perhaps even teaching others. You are awakening, gaining strength, and realizing your worth far exceeds that of the narcissist. You escaped from the narcissist who deceived and trapped you. Understand this. Your narcissist never intended for things to end. Unable to self-reflect, take responsibility, or be accountable, they cannot offer peace. They believe they are always right and never at fault, even though they make mistakes daily, just like everyone else. Narcissists struggle to admit when they're wrong because they lack clear thinking. This behavior perpetuates the harm they cause to others. Narcissists are aware that they alone can break this cycle, yet they choose to continue lying and manipulating people for their own gain, discarding them when they are no longer useful. As a result, narcissists rarely maintain long-lasting friendships or partnerships. Children of narcissists often distance themselves, remembering the mistreatment and refusing to be manipulated again. The endless victim narrative grows tiresome. Despite these challenges, they manage to heal and move on, recognizing the previous relationship was unhealthy. Narcissists consistently fail in relationships, both current and past, driven by an insatiable need for attention, material possessions, and new lovers. Both you and they know that true happiness will always elude them. They never thought you would recover. No one believed you'd survive that relationship. They doubted you'd ever be strong enough to heal yourself. They underestimated your ability to see through their facade. People didn't think you could live on your own after being thrown out during a pandemic, undergoing multiple surgeries, accumulating credit card debt, losing your car, and facing isolation. The narcissist spread lies about you, and your support network grew distant, with no one checking in on you. No one asked, "Hey, how are you? Want to grab a coffee? Let's talk about what happened." That's why narcissists act so quickly. They hide in the shadows or vanish abruptly. Why? They take what they can because they can. They won't sit down, have a coffee, reflect, or take responsibility. They can't because their minds are too fragile. They behave like children, stuck in their own pain, and wanted to keep you trapped there too. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Think about being abandoned. Why did it happen? If someone selfishly took everything from you, they would just move on to someone else. It's true. What else did they do? They left you. The selfish person may have tried to reconnect with you occasionally. Don't let them. It's good that you didn't get back together with them. That shows you're strong, healing, and that the selfish person has moved on. Everything I'm telling you happened after you were rejected. Think about your lowest point. You were nearly at rock bottom, possibly facing immense hardship and contemplating actions you never thought you would. But guess what? You made it through a tough spot, learned, used new tools, and gave back to the community. Now you have another day to help others. You're realizing that the connection almost destroyed you, but it didn't. Selfish people always fail at these things. I'm not just repeating myself. I want you to understand that you are not the same person you were 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 years ago. Life is constantly changing. Your energy levels shift daily, weekly, and monthly. Distancing yourself from narcissists and reducing toxic relationships will help you heal. Breaking free from a trauma bond and staying away from the narcissist is crucial. If you can't avoid contact, use the grey rock method or just be as uninteresting as possible. Remember this: the narcissist didn't think you could get better. They saw you as weak, lacking faith, energy, power, money, support, and more. Despite the pain they inflicted, they didn't believe you could succeed. If you stumbled, consider why they did it. What would drive them to seek love elsewhere? They might claim you were too weak. Let go of that. Everything negative they said about you was based on their skewed perception, not facts. Narcissists never want you to heal, past, present, or future. It's crucial to grasp this. They aim to hide their true dangerous nature from you. The moment you see through their mask, you start setting boundaries. Your goal shifts from pleasing others to making your voice heard. A powerful word is no, and saying it with confidence is key. By rejecting the narcissist and affirming your own worth, you challenge their control. This is difficult for them. They can't handle opposition. They can't dominate. One of their reactions might be anger. Your strength lies in your ability to say no, uncover the truth, and recognize the lessons from the connection. You had no other choice but to learn. If you've endured difficult situations, know that you're stronger now. Breaking free from selfish abuse showcases your resilience. Remember, you have support, whether you're thriving or still healing. The narcissist didn't believe you would get better, but you have. Let this be your first step towards complete recovery. If you appreciate my writing, please like, share, and follow. Your small gestures can make my whole day brighter. Your continued support helps me create more videos to inspire you on your journey to becoming your best self. Thank you for listening, and stay safe. This is what the narcissist never expected you to do, and it will be something they regret for the rest of their life. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. The narcissists were taken aback by how many unexpected things you accomplished. Show your support by liking, following, and sharing the videos if you enjoy them. This video, however, covers a move they never saw coming. Before we dive into that, let's reflect on your time with the narcissist. What was the nature of your connection, and how did it affect you? What changes have you retained? You were involved with a toxic narcissist because you lacked awareness about narcissism due to insufficient education on the topic. Initially, you believed the other person was simply having a bad day, acting like a victim, or being unkind due to their own issues.